All right, in this video, we're going to be looking or discussing a couple red flags that a feminine woman should look out for when dealing with men, right? So I did another video talking about the reverse, the red flags that masculine men have to watch out for. If you want to see that one, then check that out too. But the first one we'll say is a woman has to check out for a man's perception of equality and how he views that. So if he views equality in terms of saying that men and women are the same, that's actually an issue. That's a problem for a woman. Because if he thinks that men and women are the same, he won't do the behaviors that are distinctively different that make him a man and that satisfy a woman. So a lot of women might require a man, or they will feel more fulfilled with a man who understands that there's certain behaviors and a certain performance that he has to give, or certain roles that he has to undertake, that is the role of a man, and it will satisfy you as a woman. But if he thinks that men and women are the same, then he's not going to feel any incentive to, take on that role, because, well, he will just ask, why don't you do it? We're equal, we're the same. Why don't you do it? But then you have another perception or angle you could look at it from, where a guy could say, look, we are different. We are not the same. We're equal in value, but not in function. And I would say that's more preferable. You need to get the type of man who understands that men and women are not the same, and that as a man, there are certain things that, there's a certain level of responsibility that he has to take if he wants to be the leader of the household, the family, and so on, right? Which many men want, right? They say they want that. So she has to get a good understanding of how he views equality, what that looks like in his mind, because one perspective could be bad and the other perspective could be good. If he's the type of person that says, yeah, I do want to step up and be a man, I want to grow into that type of man on a daily basis, there's nothing wrong with that. But if he says, well, I'm not going to take on my role and my responsibilities because, well, why don't you just do it? That might actually be a problem for a feminine woman. If she's a feminine woman, this is an issue. Now, the next one actually is one red flag that you have to look out for is, does he use the man card to justify actions of hyper masculinity? So let's say you're the type of woman who says, I actually do want to follow a guy. I do like the type of guy that will take charge and will lead and all of these things. If you're not that type of woman, then it's not for you, of course. But if you're the type of woman that says, look, I want to relax and rest my femininity by being with the type of guy who wants to take charge so that I can surrender control, and I'll leave the boring decision making, I guess. I'll leave it up to him. You might be that type of woman, but what if then you get with the type of guy who takes it too far and is too, he wants an excessive level of control without being conscious of how that makes you feel and what your experience is? Now it becomes a problem, even though you want a guy that leads. The guy might almost lead like a tyrant to the point where it's very uncomfortable and you don't like it. And then he will just say, well, I'm a man, so I'm supposed to do that. What are you talking about? It doesn't matter what you say. It only matters what I say. And I'm going to do whatever it is. And, how you feel about it is totally disregarded. So that definitely is something you're going to have to watch out for, because he might be covering up certain insecurities, traumas, or wounds by excessively expressing masculinity. It's hyper masculine. And let's say, for example, another example could be you like the type of guy that leads, but you want him to lead with logic. But he might be someone that leads, but he leads with emotion. And because he's not doing it from a stable, calm, grounded place, it makes you feel unsafe. So again, it's hyper masculine, but he might just look at it and say, well, I'm a man. What are you talking about? I'm supposed to lead. And I'm, doing it in the correct way. What you're saying doesn't make sense. I'm not doing it with too much. He might not even look at it and care that he's doing it with emotion, actually, because he will say to himself that you're not even supposed to question that or even look at that, even if you have a valid point with it. So you need to watch out. Does he use the man card to justify actions of hyper masculinity? If he doesn't, if he's aware of it, it's good, because he'll do the healing and he'll work on himself. But if he's not aware of it, and that's just, he intends to stay that way, this is a very big problem that you have to watch out for, because sometimes it can go too far when a person acts too much like a, harsh dictator, tyrant who doesn't care about, the person that he's leading with, right? So yeah, those are red flags that you should watch out for if you're a feminine woman wanting to be with a masculine man. Comment down below, let Reemus know what you thought of the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.